I've always liked solo camping. No phones, no people, no pressure to talk or be on. Just silence and nature. Last October, I drove 3 hours out to a mostly empty national park in Oregon. No tourists, no campers, just one long trail. And a few remote sites way off the map. I picked one about 2 miles from the nearest posted site, somewhere I could truly be alone. I parked at the trailhead just after noon. There were no other vehicles, not one. By 4 p.m. I had my tent up, firewood stacked, and my gear sorted. The sun was already starting to dip behind the trees. I made a quick dinner, sat by the fire, pulled out a book. The air had that crisp October chill, but it was quiet, peaceful, until I heard footsteps, not an animal, not leaves falling, footsteps, soft, deliberate, crunching leaves, one step at a time, no talking, no gear clinking, just the sound of someone walking slowly around the edge of my campsite, staying out of sight. "Hey, you all right out there?" No answer. The footsteps stopped, then started again, from the other side. I grabbed my flashlight, stood up, swept it through the trees. Nothing. "Hello?" I yelled louder. Still nothing. I walked the perimeter, slow, scanning every inch of forest, nothing but trees. And that feeling, you know the one, where your skin knows something your brain hasn't caught up to yet. After a while, the sound stopped, not faded, stopped. No footsteps walking away, no snapping branches, just gone. I barely slept. I lay in my sleeping bag, knife in one hand, flashlight in the other, flinching at every gust of wind, every crack of a twig. Then around 2 a.m., I heard breathing, not mine. Slow, deliberate breathing, right outside my tent. I held my breath. Didn't move a muscle. Didn't dare speak. The breathing stayed, at least a minute, then faded into silence. At sunrise, I was exhausted, shaking, but alive. I packed up in a daze, threw everything in my car, and left. An hour down the road, I stopped at a gas station, popped the trunk, went to grab something from my gear, and saw it, taped to the inside of the tailgate. A Polaroid. A photo of me, sitting by the fire, taken from behind my tent, at night, while I was reading. I never saw a flash, never heard a shudder. I left it there, slammed the trunk, and drove straight home. That should have been the end of it. But 2 weeks later, I went hiking near my house. Totally different trail, totally different area. A couple days in, I was walking the edge of my campsite, and there it was, stuck to a tree. Another Polaroid. Not of me, but of my tent. From that same night. Whoever they were, they took more than one photo that night, and now they were leaving them for me to find. I haven't camped alone since.
This happened in 2020, peak lockdown. I was working remotely, living alone in a small second-floor apartment. The building was quiet. I didn't know my neighbors. Most of them had left the city when everything shut down. It had this strange emptiness. No footsteps upstairs. No TVs through the walls. Just dead silence. I fell into a routine. Wake up late, working all day in silence, and at night, I would scroll on my phone until I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. That night, I shut everything down around 10:30, washed my face, plugged in my phone, climbed into bed like usual. I was seconds from sleep when my phone lit up. I reached for it without thinking and froze. The caller ID said, my name. my phone number. I stared at it for a second, assuming it was some glitch. Then, I remembered a news story I'd read about scammers using spoofed numbers. So I answered, expecting a robocall. But I didn't hear a voice, or static, or anything at all, except breathing. Not fast, not panicked, just slow and steady breathing. Then, a voice, my voice, whispering, "Don't look out the window." Click. The call ended. I didn't move. My bed is right under my window. And I mean right under it. Like, if someone wanted to reach inside, they could. It was closed, of course, but the blinds were cracked, just enough to let in a sliver of moonlight. And the worst part is, I almost turned around. Instinct, curiosity, whatever. Then my phone buzzed again. Text message from me. "Don't do it!" I was so freaked out. I jumped out of bed and quickly walked to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. I stayed there for 15 minutes, just sitting on the edge of the tub, staring at my phone. The message suddenly disappeared. Not deleted, not archived, just gone. Eventually, I went back into the bedroom. I didn't check the window. I pulled the blanket over my head and stayed that way until sunrise. The next morning, I checked everything. My call log, empty. My texts, nothing. Not even in the deleted folders. It was like the whole thing never happened. I called my phone carrier and asked if there'd been any incoming calls or messages to my number between midnight and 6 a.m. They pulled the logs and emailed them to me. Nothing. I even asked about spoofing. They said spoofed calls still show up in the activity report. And that nothing, literally nothing, had pinged my line during that window. For a few days, I tried to convince myself I had dreamed it. But then, something else happened. I was looking through my photo library, cleaning up screenshots and old memes. That's when I found it. An image I don't remember taking, a screenshot from that night. It was of my lock screen, the one that showed the call. But it wasn't just a screenshot. There was something off. It looked like it had been taken from a distance, like the screen was captured through another camera, at an angle, like someone had been standing behind me just over my shoulder. And my face was faintly visible in the reflection. All the terrifying feelings from that night came rushing back. I checked my security settings. There were no remote access apps installed, no screen recording software, no synced devices. I live alone. My phone never left my hands that night. And no, it didn't back up to iCloud either. I checked twice. That screenshot is still in my camera roll. Sometimes I look at it just to remind myself I'm not crazy. And every now and then I wonder, what if I had looked out the window?
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more true stories, and if this one creeped you out, drop a like. It helps a lot.